There's a quake rumbling through Santa Clara, backroom phones ringing, a potential trade brewing, a medical decision that could swing the season, and a spark on the sideline. Without giving it all away, a pass rusher's name is suddenly hot, a defensive pillar faces a brutal reality. A frank exchange between coach and receiver raises eyebrows, and the quarterback plan may be shifting. All of it with real consequences over the next month. Ready? You won't believe what we've got today. So grab a seat, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the news. Stick with me, because the wildest twist is still ahead. Behind the scenes in Santa Clara, the buzz is deafening. In the middle of the noise, one name keeps flashing on insiders' phones: Kingsley Enagbare of the Green Bay Packers. That's right, multiple league reports have the 49ers placing exploratory calls to gauge his availability, with GM John Lynch openly acknowledging he's working the phone lines for edge help. And be honest, after the injuries this defense has taken, what contender wouldn't be checking the market? Enagbare is just 25, checking in at around 6 feet 4 inches, 270 pounds, on the final year of his rookie deal. He isn't the headline-grabbing closer, but he fits the exact profile San Francisco values. Physical, disciplined, multi-phase contributor with steady snaps on special teams. In Green Bay, he's been a rotational piece with limited defensive usage this year, but the tape shows a strong side end who locks down run edges and lets your speed rushers hunt on passing downs. That's the kind of plug-and-play depth that keeps your scheme intact without forcing a philosophical reboot. The price tag? That's what makes the rumor even spicier. You're talking about a young, inexpensive, rotational edge with special teams value, exactly the smart move Lynch tends to make before the deadline. And the clock is real. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Calls are happening. Interest is real. Just don't mistake smoke for fire yet. Fans are split in the comments and on talk radio. Some see Enagbare as the right kind of stabilizer for a Bosa-less front. Others want to swing for the fences. Names like Bradley Chubb or Arden Key have also been floated by national insiders as league-wide targets. But here's the strategic layer. You shore up early downs with a sturdy edge setter and free your designated rushers to tee off in clear passing situations. With Nick Bosa already done for the year, the calculus changes. You can't replicate him, but you can rebalance the room. Now picture this. Enagbare arrives, gives the front a jolt, and helps unlock the interior so pieces like Alfred Collins and Kalia Davis can hit their stride. That's a quiet move with outsized impact. And the best part? It doesn't mortgage the future. Due diligence now, upside later. Classic contender math. And this still wasn't the day's biggest shock. Sometimes you look at this team and ask, how much more can they take? Year after year, it feels like the football gods test the 49ers' toughness. The latest blow was devastating. Fred Warner, the heartbeat of the defense, went down with a gruesome right ankle injury and had to be carted off with an air cast. The sideline fell silent. Players from both teams rushed over, and the broadcast barely showed the replay. The diagnosis: a broken and dislocated ankle. He'll need surgery and is out for the season. That's a gut punch to the locker room and the scheme. Warner was the captain around whom this defense was rebuilt after veteran turnover. Take him out, and with Nick Bosa already lost to a torn ACL, the spine of the unit is suddenly gone. The impact is tactical. Communication, run fits, coverage checks, and psychological. Suddenly, everyone's responsibilities change. That's why today's 30-19 loss in Tampa will be remembered less for the score and more for the moment the season's tone shifted. Offensively, Mac Jones started again with Brock Purdy still battling a toe injury. Jones fought through knee and oblique issues, was sacked repeatedly, and threw 2 interceptions. It wasn't for lack of effort. Kendrick Bourne kept producing, stacking another big day, and Christian McCaffrey finally broke the season-long drought with the team's first rushing touchdown. Yes, it actually took 6 weeks. But the conversation tonight is about Warner's absence and what it means for the run ahead. So who steps into the void? D. Winters will see his role expand. Rookie Tatum Bethune already had to jump in today, and another rookie, Nick Martin, is on deck. This is where coaching earns its paycheck. The responsibility now falls on Kyle Shanahan and defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, back in charge of this defense, to redraw the blueprint on the fly. Survive the next stretch, hold the line, and give the offense enough runway to figure itself out. That's the challenge. And while we try to process that loss, the sideline had its own flashpoint that's impossible to ignore. Amid all the on-field tension, the temperature spiked on the bench. Late in the first half, Kyle Shanahan and Juwan Jennings were caught in a heated back and forth. The spark? Jennings felt frozen out of the script early, with no targets in the opening half as he played through ankle and rib pain. When a competitive receiver doesn't see the ball, especially one who pushed for a new deal, that frustration can boil over fast. Reporter Noah Furtado flagged the exchange as it happened, and it matched the body language we saw. Context matters. The 49ers were shorthanded at wideout, Ricky Pearsall was unavailable, and even so, Jennings had to toe a fine line between urgency and discipline. In the second half, 2 quick penalties only poured gas on the discourse. Online, fans split into 2 camps, one defending his fire, another demanding composure with the roster held together by tape. There's also the off-season backstory. Jennings did request a trade during his contract standoff, and GM John Lynch acknowledged it, then shut it down. They moved on, but moments like today remind you the tension never fully evaporates until Sundays go smoothly. Meanwhile, Kendrick Bourne has stepped back into the Bay and delivered. Another 142-yard day against Tampa confirms the chemistry with Jones is real. And it's exactly what this offense needs right now with George Kittle still on IR. So yes, emotions flared, but the bigger picture is the room. Shanahan's culture demands that competitiveness feed the team, not drain it. If Jennings channels that energy the right way, he becomes part of the solution while this offense rides out the storm. And speaking of storms, the quarterback question just got a lot louder. If there's one position that encapsulates today's chaos, it's quarterback. The storyline shifts weekly, and now it centers on Brock Purdy's status. According to reporting tied to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Purdy has a chance to start next week against the Falcons. That's intentionally vague. Nobody inside the building wants a repeat of rushing him back only to aggravate the toe. Caution is the word. Here's the dilemma. Even banged up, Mac Jones has battled, and he's been the starter during this stretch. He's on a 2-year deal signed in March, and he even had a sizable incentive on the line today. Yet another reason he wasn't coming off the field. But the hits have piled up, and the staff knows one more shot could force Plan C in a hurry. That's the kind of calculus that keeps coaches up at night. So what does Shanahan do if Purdy is medically cleared? Put him back in right away, risking rust and the pressure of replacing a quarterback who's been gutting out wins? Or bank another week, let the locker room exhale, and avoid turning it into a referendum on the depth chart? That's not just X's and O's, it's psychology, continuity, and the message you send to 52 other men. And if you're looking for the fan angle, the comment section's already decided. Half want the former Mr. Irrelevant hero back yesterday. Half say ride the hot hand until it cools. The decision isn't simple, and the timing matters. One more variable. If the offense stalls and the defense is patching holes post-Warner, the temptation to accelerate Purdy's return grows. But the worst-case scenario is obvious. Reinsert him too soon, stumble, and create a full-blown controversy just as the schedule tightens. Management knows it. The staff knows it. And with Atlanta coming up, the clock is ticking. Deep breath, faithful. We just walked through a storm. The front office is mapping out a run at Enigbear to rebalance the edge, while the defense faces the emotional and tactical void of Warner's season-ending injury. On the sideline, the Shanahan-Jennings flare-up underscored the need for collective discipline. And under center, the Purdy versus Jones decision could shape the next month. This is the moment for unity, clear eyes, and courage. Who should start next Sunday? And what pass rush move would you make right now? Drop your take below, smash the like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow fans. We'll be back tomorrow. Faith, focus, and Niners.